What's up, guys? It's another episode of Off the Post. I'm your host, DJ RedCap Fred Durst, and I am back on the throne. Courtney is, she's off the way doing something, so I guess I'll be here. You'll have to put up with me for about an hour or so that's not too bad. We have our panel of, looks like someone came back. I don't know how he got on here, but we'll talk to him in a second, and we'll introduce you to the rest of them. I'll talk about some of the contests we have, because we have a ton of contests. Everyone here looks all bright and happy today. Looks like we have 2 green rooms, it looks like. Okay, this is going to be confusing. And we have 2 GMs, so it's real confusing. 2 green rooms and 2 GMs, so I'll figure it out how we're going to do this for the show today. Let's introduce you to the panel, and then we'll get started. Or I'll talk about the contest, and we'll get started. Yeah, I'm going to do that first. Okay, that's cool. All right, Jackie, what were you eating on over
there? Smarties. You want some?
Yeah, you can throw some at the screen. I'll eat them then. Or just mail them to me. That's even better.
Okay.
How have you been doing?
Good, I guess. It's pretty hot today, so I tried to stay inside for the most part.
Yep, I think that's what most people did, so that's always good.
So, I finished my story, so I'm good to go.
All right, so we'll have that probably posted out on one of our little social media, the Twitter. Jen Hayes, what have you been up to?
Glad the weekend's over after all the drama.
What drama are you talking about? I just watched a bunch of games that I loved.
Well, I guess we'll find out today, won't we?
Oh boy, if Jen Hayes is on, you know a good rant is coming. Jen Carl, what are you up to?
Yep. Just sitting in the office, hanging out. I decided to not race home today, so I'm actually doing this from work.
Nice.
Yeah.
You are a fan. People have enjoyed the Spirit fan, so glad to have you on.
Thanks.
All right, Aurelio, what have you been up to?
I'm just enjoying my last week of vacation.
Oh, and then what happens after that? Life?
College is back, unfortunately.
Oh, goodness. Aurelio dealing with college. Oh, this is going to be interesting to see what he's up to. He's always on some adventures down there in Brazil, so we'll see. We'll see what's up. You got that little sly smile. I know you're up to no good, Aurelio. You're going to be having a good weekend, aren't you? And then we have our guest back, Neil. What have you been up to, Neil?
Not a whole lot, man. Finishing up my summer classes, so that's good. Got a new job, so I'm working now. I'm busier, so that's good.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you work again after like the incident you told me what happened in your last place. Like, oh, that's so sad or whatever. It was depressing. Okay, Neil, can you show us the jersey real quick?
Oh yeah, it's my fish lock jersey, of course. Let me turn around.
Awesome.
You know.
Yep.
Okay. I can respect it. She made my top 5 list, so I respect it.
Of course.
As you know, guys, if you want to speak to us, you can use the hashtag #WoSoTalk. You can send us questions on Facebook, the Twitter, and then we will answer them either now or later. Let's get over a few of the contests we have going on. As you know, if you've been looking on Facebook or Twitter, we've been constantly sending out something about a ball because we're trying to give you away something cool and free. There's a bunch of signatures of Flash, and even the coach from not the Flash, Spirit. Let's regroup. And Spirit. I want Jim Carl to take this segment. Jim Carl, tell us what is on that ball.
Nice. Okay. Yes, it does have the coach, but not from the Flash. He's from the Spirit. As well as a lot of the players and some retired players, including Lori Lindsay. Allie Krieger's on there. We have some other ones on there. Jen Scowerbo, Tori Huster's on there. Christine Nairn, Estelle Johnson. A couple other ones are on there. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Oh, Megan Oyster. She's a biggie. So they're all on there. It's really awesome. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter or like our page on Facebook, and you are entered. If you already follow us and or like us, then you're already good to go.
Yes, because some people were asking about that, and I'm just like, yeah, you're already entered to win. You're good. You're set. Just wait for it, and we might pick you. So we'll talk about the winner of that probably on the next show, which will be Sunday. The winner will be chosen by Friday, so you will be notified then if you won or not. So keep a lookout in your inboxes and don't ignore me as you usually do. Also, we have tickets for a Chicago game we are all heading to. It is on the 23rd. Who would like to talk about this? Jackie's going. Tell us what's happening, Jackie.
Yeah, we're giving away a few tickets to hang out with some of our fellow panelists, including myself, DJ. Jen, you're going to be there, right?
I will be there.
Yeah, so, and then Graham as well. So it's going to be quite the party, so you might want to tell us why you need tickets, and we'll select a winner.
Yep. And there's many ways you can do this. You can send it on the Facebook. You can send it on Twitter. You can send it directly to us. Any reason, just tell us why you deserve those tickets, and then we might choose you. You'll sit with the panel, and then whatever happens afterward just happens. So you might have a good time in, Chicago. Why do I keep trying to say Shy? I wanted to say Chi-Town, but I didn't want to. I'll just say it's Chi-Town with the panel. So keep a lookout on that. We will probably announce that a week before, just so you know that you won, and you can go tell your friends what you want. All right, guys, are you ready to get into some NWSL action or no?
Let's go.
Of course.
Do it.
Let's do it. We are going to start with the team that has one of the best streams in the nation, the Spirit versus Chicago Red Stars. As you know, this was... Okay, someone laughed. We're going to start with Jen on this one. And tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, it was a really interesting game. Mark played a little bit of a different line. Well, it was kind of the same lineup, just different players. We normally have Joanna Lohman playing our central midfield position because she's a central defensive midfielder. She was at Boston, and she kind of carried that role with us, but she was more attacking. And then we saw Kriege enter that role this past week, which was interesting, to remove a defending midfielder and put in an attacking defender. So the dynamic is a little bit interesting there, but she played it well. It was nice to see her be strong in that role, knowing that she had players like Kristen Press coming at her. She was really the only one that could keep up with that speed, so I think that was good positioning for her. I don't see her there in the long term, but it's Mark, so Mark's going to do whatever he knows works. Kristen Press had a beautiful goal, past Ashlyn Harris, and then we started a sequence over on the Washington end that was just ridiculous. There were 3 different players on the ball, Christine Nairn, Franny Ordega, and Crystal Dunn. The sequence between the 3 of them matched up, and Crystal Dunn was in the right place at the right time, like she always is, and knocked one in over KK. But both of them, KK and Ashlyn Harris, had phenomenal saves. So it was good to see our national team players back on the field, obviously making a huge impact already. The players for Chicago were making an impact, both the national teamers and the non-national teamers. So it was definitely a good game. It was a fair score line for the way it was played. The teams were very evenly matched. So, and it didn't rain. It did not rain at a Chicago Washington game. It was wonderful.
Aurelio?
I thought the first half of that game was stuck in the midfield. Both teams having trouble to keep the ball. Ali was kind of missing in that midfield role, but even the Red Stars players were missing too. But they got press and she got space. She did what she's paid to do. But in the second half, Spirit, it was all Spirit. The big players like Nairn and then decided to show up, and the Costa could have started too. I really like to see her playing. It was an intense game at the end, but I expected more from that game.
Jen Hayes?
Yeah, I'll agree that a 1-1 draw was a fair result, even though I think the Spirit probably should have won it in the second half. I don't know. I mean, I was just so frustrated trying to actually watch that game because of other issues that I was having. So, I mean, I can't really comment too much, except for I've been kind of disappointed with Christine Nairn this whole season. I mean, I never know what to expect from her, whether she's going to be good or bad, and it was kind of both this game. So, again, I couldn't really focus on it like I normally do, so I can't say too much else.
Yeah, I know what you mean about Nairn, though. It's like she started the season off pretty good, then she seems like she's trailed off a lot lately, because I was expecting her to have a real big year, so I can understand that. Jackie?
Yeah, this game was kind of what I expected. Press gets the ball, no one steps to her, and she rips one past Harris from 25 yards out. But I did think Harris, like Jen mentioned, she made some fantastic saves to keep her team really in. I think she's in great form right now. And then the Dunn goal, I give credit to Ortega for keeping the play alive, finding Newman, takes the shot, and then Dunn pounces on the rebound. So yeah, like she said again, fair result, and each team gets a point and keeps the standings close. So it was good.
And Neil, what did you think of that game?
I mean, from I guess sort of like Jen Hayes, I didn't get to see I guess a lot of it just due to other things. But there are definitely two teams that are I feel probably the strongest right now. So it was interesting to see I guess the Spirit respond after getting down fairly early. And I guess just staying with it and progressing and eventually tying it up. I guess I don't know if they play again later in the season, but I think they will. They'll definitely hurt each other in terms of placing in the playoffs and whatnot because they're both so powerful and so strong. And I think some other teams might sneak up, and one of them might get left out just because they're so top heavy, I guess.
Yeah, it was to me. I was expecting a pretty good game though. Like I wanted to see these two teams face off. As you said, Jackie, Press just ripped a shot out of nowhere, and then after that, it seemed like Chicago really started to take the game over a bit. But the Spirit, they're a team that never give up. And I said you can have a moment of magic with Press and a moment of magic with Dunn, and it happened in this game. So it's good to see. Can't wait to see these teams play again. It was a lot of great back and forth. At the end, it got a bit crazy, so that was really exciting. But I really want to see like someone actually come away with 3 points or something because they're like the best teams in the league. So I can't wait for the next matchup. Right now, the Spirit are third with 21 points, and CRS is second with 26 points. Let's jump into a game that I'm knowing that Jen Hayes is going to like, the Western New York Flash versus the Dash. We will start with you first.
Great. This was, I was so frustrated because this is the third game in a row where it was the set pieces that let the Flash down. I mean, I could just see it both offensively and defensively. I mean, Becky Edwards' service was horrible. Every single corner kick she was taking was right to where McLeod was, so there was no problem there. And then that one opportunity that the Flash give up, boom, we give up a goal. So, and I think honestly, if it weren't for McLeod, the Flash probably would have come back to win that game. But it's just, I mean, McLeod did have a few good saves, but most of the shots were right to the keeper. So it's just another thing of more lost points in a game that we dominated. And the good part for me was, other than her goal, Lloyd really didn't do a whole much. She was being shadowed for the first half and then the second half until the goal, so she was kept kind of quiet. After the goal, she picked up a little bit because she was no longer being shadowed. But again, like I said, other than the goal, she wasn't really doing a tremendous amount, so that part was good. The loss, however, sucked.
Okay. Neil, your thoughts? I think you got to talk to get that unmuted, sir. I think. Sorry, guys. We were working on... There you go. See, we were working on trying to get rid of that echo, so don't mind us, people. Continue, Neil.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Flash have kind of had moments of, I guess we'll say brilliance. But I mean, I pretty much expected the Dash to come and win the match. But I guess I was a little surprised about the 1-0 scoreline. And I mean, the Flash they played, moderately well. Like they actually, I feel, challenged the Dash pretty well, given some other things that happened earlier in the week that came out that kind of added fuel to the matchup. So I mean, it was a good game, but it wasn't as, I guess, dominating as I thought it was going to be by the Dash. So I mean, that was good to see because never like to see teams get destroyed, you know.
Jackie, your thoughts on that game?
Well, I mean, the Flash had plenty of chances, but Erin McLeod had other ideas. You know, she made 12 saves, so she was very busy, including 2 stoppage time saves on Andrade and Mewis. So, and one was a kick save. So, yeah, I think she definitely saved the game, but nice to see Klingenberg and Lloyd hook up for the goal. Overall, a solid road win for Houston, but disappointing home loss for the Flash. I think that really kind of summarize their season so far, and I don't know if they can climb back up to the top of the table or not.
Jennifer Carl, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the big one for me was definitely Erin McLeod. She was the standout for me in this game. She stopped that shot from the top of the box by Lady Andrade, who made her NWSL debut with the Flash. She also stopped a couple of shots from Mewis, I believe. Sam Mewis had a couple of shots on goal that Erin McLeod just got in front of and halted him that otherwise would have gone in. I think Elizabeth Eddy in the first half had a really fantastic half. She made a lot of chances for the Flash. And then, of course, you know, Carly Lloyd is Carly Lloyd. So I think that kind of says everything that needs to be said about the fact that she's the one that scored the goal for Houston in Rochester. We'll probably talk about that later.
Oh boy. And Aurelio. Aurelio, speak, Aurelio. That's how you unmute yourself, I believe. Oh, Aurelio.
You muted me. You forgot about that, right?
Oh, you're the echo. I can't unmute you. You gotta unmute yourself, sir.
I know that. So, yeah. I think the Flash could have won this one. I mean, they did surprise me. They came out strong. I didn't expect that, but they had a lot of chances, especially from the wings and the end line with Mewis and Edwards. But fortunately for the Dash, McLeod had an amazing game. Could save us. And Carly Lloyd, she's the top player. She didn't do much, but that's what she does. She can, if you give her a little bit of space, she can win the game for you. And in football, when you don't score, bad things happen. And I'm glad Dash could come out with the 3 points in this game.
Yeah, it was a good 3 points for the Dash. I've been saying they need to get some points soon, and this was the game that they did it. The Flash, to me, they came out actually looking good in the first half, but it was a matter of seeing how they played in the second half for me, because as we've noticed the last few games, has been second half debacles. They just bombed and let other teams get back in it or beat them in the second half and just have scoring festivals. Although D'Angelo had a pretty good game, to be honest with you, and Heyman, she looked a bit good here and there in certain spots. The Dash were at first willing to sit back and absorb all that pressure they were getting a lot of time. Like I said, the Dash were really, to me, they've been like okay. They haven't looked really good to me yet, even though I've expected a lot more out of them. They didn't create as many chances at first as the Flash. Like I said, when we're sitting back, and actually Carly Lloyd was scoring Western New York. So, and she got a loud ovation, it sounded like. It was like, Art, don't you notice your team has just lost the game because of that? Or you're losing right now. But maybe we'll get to that a little bit later. As we know, Western New York is now in 6th, as they all cheered for that goal, and with 15 points. And the Dash are now in 5th with 17 points. Now let's get into the game of the... Oh, is this the game of the week? It is now. Sky Blue versus the Boston Breakers. This was the biggest game of the year right now. I was happy to watch this game. I think we were all excited about it, as we have our own little group chat that goes on, and everyone was just bragging about how amazing Sky Blue looked. I told them about this, so they should have been ready for it the whole time. We will start with you first, Neil. You know what to talk about.
Okay, well, secretly, I'm sort of a Sky Blue fan. Like, they're probably my third favorite team.
What, third? What?
Yeah, I mean, out of 9, that's good, man. So, like, ever since the season started and Nadim got signed, I thought, wow, Sky Blue's going to be awesome this year because she made such a big difference last year. But I don't know. I guess I don't know. She didn't. She wasn't the difference maker that quite thought she was going to be this year by herself. But obviously with KO coming back after the World Cup, like she's made a world of difference, and I think she's helped Nadim just open up more and get more shots and more looks. So I mean, I'm really glad to see them play so well this weekend.
Good. I like hearing those positive words about Sky Blue. Really, your thoughts on that game?
So it was an interesting start. Nair was very busy at the beginning. Kerr, O'Hara, Nadine were all having a great game. And O'Hara was free and open in both of her goals. I think it was bad defending by the breakers. But she was amazing too. She had an awesome game. She was everywhere. She was defending. She was in the mid. She was attacking. I've never seen a player do that. Not even the men's game. She was just brilliant.
Yeah, KO's
dominated the whole game.
Oh, I was just gonna say KO's a complete midfielder. Can do everything. That's the perfect midfielder you'd want in any men's or female game, to be honest with you. All right, Jen, what's up with Jennifer Carl? What is up with the Boston Breakers at this moment?
The same thing that's been up with the Boston Breakers all season. They're so unpredictable. They can't. They're probably the most inconsistent team in the league right now. And you know the national team players made such impacts on the other teams already. We see Carly Lloyd coming in scoring goals. We see KO for Sky Blue coming in. We see Christy Rambone shooting around the back, cleaning things up for Sky Blue back there. Ashlyn Harris was obviously huge for us. So, you know, Alyssa Nair, huge credit to her because she has made a really big impact on her return, but at the same point, like, they need something. And that's the big problem. You know, Alyssa Nair is like a brick wall back there, but she's a one-man brick wall. She doesn't have a D-line in front of her that's capable of stopping an attack from KO or from Kerr or these fantastic players who manage to find space where there is none and just, you know, unleash it. So I think Boston's got a big problem as they start to face higher-ranked teams. It's going to be a slaughterfest. It was a slaughterfest against Sky Blue. So, you know, when we see Boston later playing some of the higher-ranked teams, it's going to be a mess. But on the flip side of that, you know, we watched Boston play Chicago to a draw. So they're just so inconsistent. They're so unpredictable. And I think that's Boston's problem.
Jen Hayes, your thoughts on Boston?
Well, I'm going to kind of disagree with my fellow Jen over there. I think the Flash could give Boston a run for inconsistency. But, there was a stretch earlier in the season where Boston had seemingly figured out their defensive problems. They had seemingly figured out their defensive problems. But then I think it was Seattle came to town and basically gave everybody in the league a primer on how to break them down. And ever since then, they have looked really bad. And when their only World Cup player really coming back, I mean, they had Rafinha, but when Nair is the only player coming back, and they're facing teams that are getting 3, 4, 8 different players back, I mean, the difference in quality is it's showing.
Yep.
You know, I have little hope that Boston's going to finish anywhere other than last place. You know, they don't have many games. They're giving up a game in hand. Most of the teams have a game in hand over them, and their schedule for the last 6 games is awful. They only have 2 games at home versus 4 on the road. You know, against the Seattles, in the Houston. You know, all these teams are, you know, very capable of putting a hurting on Boston. And there's only so much Alyssa Nair can do. So I think at the end of the season, Tom Durkin needs to go. You know, it's just for whatever reason, the players are not responding to him. I think there needs to be a change in management. I think there needs to be a complete house cleaning. Just take maybe 4 or 5 core players and get rid of everybody else and bring in a whole new team.
You know what, Jen Hayes? I disagree with you saying Dirk needs to go because I think he's one of the smoothest dressers on the side of the bench. So
Oh, no. Did you watch him last year? He looked like he just rolled out of bed.
No, I can understand what you're saying now. And Jackie, your thoughts on both teams?
Yeah, I mean, the trio of KO, Kerr, and Friels actually frustrated Boston's back line the whole game, and then, Nadine played better in the second half. I think KO's 2 goals were fantastic. I love seeing her get up more in the attack for her team, and I think overall, Sky Blue, they really needed this win. 3 huge points. They're out of the basement now in 7th. And, it shows that they can put in a quality performance, really a complete team effort, in my opinion. And as for Boston, they look slow, exhausted, just really sluggish at times. And it wasn't fun to watch, but I'm not really sure what their issues are. But, again, good for Sky Blue to get 3 points.
Oh,
yeah, I agree with you.
Sorry, Can I say something? I think it is in Sky Blue's best interest to, if not to get into the playoffs, to at least finish above Portland or have Portland, finish. Because if they finish above Portland in the upcoming college draft, they will swap first-round draft picks with Portland because of the Kendall Johnson deal.
Really?
Yeah, that's only if they finish above Portland and have a lower draft pick.
Okay. Well, now it's my time. Well, Sky Blue, let's go. We're finally out the bottom of the table, so it's good. Some serious points right now about Sky Blue. Constantly attacking, that looks great. Neem was active early, making good runs. We've changed from our early strategy of kicking the ball forward and hoping she can win it off of 3 defenders. Now we actually play on the ground sometimes and look for the long ball when it's appropriate. Sam Kerr is still taking shots right now because it looked like Boston didn't even know she was on the field, so I'm sure she could have scored about 5 or 6. She felt like it seemed like she was just all day. She was the fact that she was just so open on the other side of the field, and they kept finding her was amazing. She's made an impact. Kale's made a great impact. It looks like players are actually more comfortable in their roles. Friels isn't being asked to do that much more now since she has better players around her. They can just get her the ball, let her do her thing. It's just been great to watch the whole thing. And for Boston, they've looked a mess with McCaffrey on the bench. There wasn't much really they had going on for them. It's been another Boston performance where it's like now the consistency is they're consistently looking bad rather than off and on looking bad and good. So they're probably going to be at the bottom. Sky Blue, as I said last week, we're going up, 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 and that's the way it should be. So 7th place right now, and we'll be in 6th place pretty soon, so stay tuned. Let's talk about, I guess we will call this the game of the week, really. I don't consider it the game of the week, really. Even though I love the Reign right now for what they did, I appreciate you guys, you Reign fans. Thank you for beating Portland as badly as you did. The Reign versus Portland. I called this my beatdown special last week, and I was expecting 4 goals. I only got 3, so how unfortunate for me. We will start with the Reign fan, Jackie, and see what she has to say about this.
Yeah, I think both teams came out with a good amount of energy. But I think Portland, they weren't as aggressive as Seattle were in the early minutes. And I think other than Tobin and maybe Ali Long for a few minutes, nobody else was really moving, kind of looking for, the ball.
That's a dog.
And I think when Fishlight got that goal before halftime, that really set the tone for the game. And that really put them in control, I think. And then, of course, Giannis, 2 goals in like 3 minutes. That was just so much fun to watch. And overall, I'm very happy with the 3 points, especially against a depleted, Portland team who can't seem to figure out how to play soccer anymore. So I guess we're back on top, so we can't go wrong with that.
Woof, woof, Jackie. Woof, woof. Let's go on to Shin Hayes right now and see what she has to say.
Sorry.
Your thoughts? No, it's okay. I had to say it. Janae, what are your thoughts?
Well, if that dog will shut up for 5 seconds and let me talk. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Jackie. All right, go, Jen.
One of the things I've kind of been critical of Seattle is their attack has been predictable. Not that it hasn't worked, but it's just you can pretty much see what they're going to do. It's either going to be work it up to Kim Little or go wide and serve it in. And Portland was actually doing a good job of cutting out the crosses they were sending in. I think once Fishlock got that early goal, Portland had to change things. And, of course, Catley coming out early didn't help them out much either. So, that Fishlock goal was huge for Seattle because once that happened, Portland had to adjust, and they were able to take advantage of it. And I'm going to put this out here. If I'm a Portland fan, I want Michelle Beto starting every single game because Unger has looked like crap for 2 seasons with the Thorns. Mm-hmm. She's been amazing for Germany, but when she gets to the club level, she kind of sucks. So if I'm Paul Riley, I'm saying, okay, Unger, you had your shot. You weren't good. Go to the bench. I'll bring in Betos. And it was a strong effort from the Reign, not the 5-0 they had last season in Seattle, but it was still pretty good. Portland continues their downward slide, although I think that slide might end in the very near future.
Jen Curl?
Yeah, for me, I think the standout was Menges. Menges really stepped up in this game and held down what she could. She kind of played the entire field for Portland. She kind of felt like last week I kind of said the same thing about Van Holle, or not even last week. When was that? Wednesday. I said kind of the same thing about Van Hollebeck, and this time around it was Menges. But yeah, Portland they looked like crap. Tobin played well, so I'm still validated. But they didn't look good, and Seattle took advantage of that. And shout out to Bev there for the brace. I think at some point we were all hoping for a hat trick, even me, and I was hoping for Portland to win. Sorry, Bev. So they're not the same Portland team that we saw 2 seasons ago, and that's kind of unfortunate for them, but great for the rest of us. So.
Now Jen Carl, Bev is a dear friend of the show. You can't say that.
I apologized.
Really, your thoughts on that game? Have you liked how Seattle's looked so far?
Yeah, they got an easy game. They easily dominated Portland. Fishlock was great. Pino and Little too, keeping the ball and distributing it to the attack, creating chances for the Reign, and putting Giannis in great place to score, keeping up the good form. And the Reign, I do like them, like how they play. They're coming stronger this season.
And you, Neil, are you happy about Portland being one of the worst teams in the league this year?
Well,
let's be honest.
As you can see by my jersey here, yeah, okay, I'm not happy about Portland being so terrible now. But I'm glad that Seattle definitely played great, I guess, the past 2 games, really. And as far as Portland, defensively, the first game they definitely, I think, played pretty well. It took quite a while before we could, squeeze in a goal there at the end. And then this time, maybe it was just, home field, or maybe, I don't know, the Reign players were a little more energized, and they wanted to, show out in front of their sellout crowd. But I think Seattle's, really hitting their stride now. They're hitting their groove. Bev's been doing great. Fishlock, of course, is, doing her thing. Little's getting more involved now. She's taking shots and not just, I don't know, passing things off, which she did do that. Or no, Pino, I guess, made that one pass that she had the player beat, but she turned around and tried to, be a team player. But it's fine. I think we'll see what Seattle's really made of, I guess, going forward. But I definitely liked what I saw the past 2 games. So more of that is what I want to see.
All right, Jackie, and you have anything else you need to say?
Yeah, real quick. Seattle is actually 20 games unbeaten at home, dating back to June of 2014. So, honestly, I guess Portland had no chance.
Ooh.
You have to amend that to home at Memorial Stadium because they played the final. It was a home game, but it was at Starfire and they lost. So you have to put the Memorial Stadium qualifier in there.
Hey, the stats don't lie.
So it appears right now that all the Seattle fans are taking their shots at Portland, which you would expect. As for me, early on, RVB looked pretty good. I mean, it looked like she picked up right where she left off last game, having a pretty solid game. The defense looked good for the most part, you know, and that both teams early on, the first couple of minutes would push the ball back and forth, and then Seattle went at them. It was like that Seattle press. It was that Seattle press and attack. I'm going to ignore that. And the Thorns back line played really well, and then once they got that goal, it was just over. And then the second half, Kim Little and Yanez, and just Yanez alone, just constantly, just such a great finisher. It was amazing to see her. It was good to see her. I wanted her to get the hat trick, so I was hoping for the best. But it was one of those games where I just knew that Portland, when they took it, Portland did good at their place, and they played it a real tough game. But I knew that when Seattle brought it back home, that Seattle was just going to bust this game open. I was expecting more goals, to be honest, but couldn't get that fourth one I wanted, but, you know, it's fine. Portland is right they need to be in 8th with 13 points, and the Reign are right where they're always at, and in first place with 27 points, for now. Chicago's been a good team, so watch you arrogant Reign fans. So let's go over our Sensational 6. As you know, my Sensational 6 are all Sky Blue players, but we'll first go through these guys and see which player they're choosing to nominate for a Sensational 6 player this week. We'll go with you first, Neil, as you nominate Kelly O'Hara. I will write that down now. Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you nominating? Okay.
Actually, my Sensational 6, I don't know, it might kind of surprise some people. She is a Reign player, of course, but she doesn't play that much yet. But given more time, I think she's going to be fantastic. The newest acquisition, Katrine Vey, I think is her last name. I'm not exactly sure how you say it, but she's been basically Fishlock, but I don't know, a bit more attacking oriented, which I really love. And she's just, you know, gung ho, like always 100%. So I'm definitely nominating her as a Sensational 6 for the rest of the season.
Oh,
maybe not.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what if Kim Little scores 5 goals? You still nominating her over Kim Little?
Yes. Because I know what Kim can do. Like, I know Kim. Kim is the queen, man.
Okay. She's the queen of the team. Understandable. Aurelio, who are you nominating?
I'll nominate Erin McLeod. She had an amazing game. She impressed me. I think she impressed everyone else too. And for the dash.
It seems like, if you guys don't know this, I'm always writing it down, and right now we're keeping chalk. Everyone's nominating players from their teams. I can't wait to see what happens when we get to the Flash. All right. Jen Carl, who are you nominating this week?
I was actually going to pick Erin McLeod, so I'm gonna rethink this real fast. I'm going to go with someone who is not on my team, even though it's really tempting to nominate Crystal Dunn. I'm going to go with our friend Bev.
Okay.
Bev, yeah.
Bev, the one that you hate, but she loves you nonetheless. All right. They're bitter rivals, people. All right. Well, it's up to you, Jen Hayes. Who are you going to, I guess, nominate? I'll say on the Flash, but we know you're not nominating a Flash player. So who are you going to nominate?
Well, since a certain somebody took my first pick,
Aurelio.
And then somebody took my second pick,
That would be Jen Carl.
I'm going to have to think about this. I want to be funny and say Toni Presley because of all the quality players on the field during the 2 dash games. She was the only one that actually was able to score on McLeod. But that's not serious.
Okay.
So, oh, shoot.
We can give you a minute, and then after Jackie nominates Jess Fishlock, so we can give you a minute. So we'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a minute.
Okay. Jackie, who are you nominating?
Well, I have a whole list of people I could have picked, and it was very tough. I've been thinking about it all day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to have to pick Kelly O'Hara.
What? All right, so she chooses Kelly over her. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
I really wanted to pick Fishlock, but no, KO scoring 2 goals, getting your team out of the basement. I mean, you can't ignore that. So KO once again for me, even though it was really hard this week.
You know what? One of these days, KO, I'm gonna get to choose you for this sensational 6. But because I'm always picking last, I never. It always, if I know when it gets to Jackie, I knew she was gonna pick KO for some reason. I just know Jackie always does that. She's like, well, I didn't always go with KO. I'm like, God dang it! Oh. So, all right, that's cool. Let's go back to you. It's cool. It's cool, dog. It's cool. It's cool. All right, let's go. Let's go, Jace. Who are you gonna pick?
Who am I gonna pick? Oh my God.
Well, you got many Sky Blue players.
Oh, I'm going with Ellie Brush.
Ellie Brush, nice.
Ellie Brush. Got a little soft spot for my Aussie, so yeah, Yeah, I think she was that one defender that actually freaking showed up both games for Houston. So since I can't pick McLeod, I'll go with the second best choice and pick Ellie Brush.
That's fine. Okay, now it's the DJ. Who is that DJ who speaks in third person going to pick? Nadim? Friels? Well, I had Jess Fishlock. I should do that just in spite of her picking KO. You know what? I'm going, I want to choose Friels. No, I'm going Jess Fishlock just because. You're going to choose from my team, I'm choosing from yours. That's how we're going to play this. So we're going Jess Fishlock because she did have a solid game, but I was going to go Sky Blue, but nah. We're going Jess today. So I will put Jess Fishlock.
And, yes, her hair was on point. She got a haircut, so look good. She'll play good.
And we're moving on now. All right, guys. We're going to go right now. We're going to do a little segment where we actually talk about who we think are going to win next week and go and just a little quick recap over the upcoming games. We're going to start with the Western New York Flash versus the Thorns. This is the battle between falling. We will start with you first, Jen Hayes. Who do you think will win this one?
I'm going Portland wins 2-1.
Okay.
I don't at the way the Flash are playing. Yeah, I know Portland's been sucking lately, but just the way the Flash are playing, I have no confidence that if they fall behind, someone's gonna go up there and say, screw this game is mine, and win it for them. So I just think Portland has too much quality. I think this will be the game where they get back on track, and I'm predicting a 2-1 Portland win.
Jackie, who are you picking? Please don't pick KO.
No, actually, I think the Flash are going to take advantage of how Portland's been playing so bad. And I hope they win 1-0, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to say Heyman with the goal.
Sounds good. I can believe that Heyman's going to make it, actually. Jen Carl, who you got?
For me, this game comes down to goalkeepers. It's going to come down to who Portland starts between the posts. If they start Betos, I think Portland might pull it out. If they start Ungerer, I think the Flash is going to win it. So for me, I'm going to say they start Ungerer, and I'm going to go 2-0 Flash.
Rulio, who do you got in this game?
I think the Flash are playing better than expected this time. So I think the Flash will get this one 1-0.
And Neil, your thoughts of who should win this one?
Going with what Jen Carl said, for Portland, it's going to depend on the goalie, that's starting. So if Unger starts, I definitely think the Flash will pull it out. Just, with Lady and Heyman, I feel the Flash, they have the ability to beat Portland, just Portland hasn't looked that great. And plus Portland's probably still a bit tired, from the Cascade Clash. So I think Flash wins 2-1.
This is one where almost listening to you guys made me kind of change my decision. I feel like Portland's the team with the most talent on the field, but they might be so drained from back-to-back derby games that they'll go out here and just lose the Flash. I mean, the Flash they've looked good at times. The thing is, their second halves have been kind of rough. But neither team has really been exceptional. I mean, losing some of these games have been losing have been pretty bad. The Thorns, like I said, on talent alone might be an upper hand, but I don't know. I guess the Flash are reeling, and I guess I could see them really stealing a point from this one. I think it's Zabroni versus Mewis. I can't wait to see that clash in midfield. But now I'm going to change it. I have 0 Western New York Flash. I actually feel confident with that one too. And we're going to go with say Sam Mewis assist to Heyman. That's what we'll do. Dash versus FC Kansas City. This is going to be actually a really good game. We'll go over to our Dash expert, Aurelio. Who you got?
The Dash, how can I say, they are getting better with the national team players back, and I think they got some confidence, so 1-0 Dash, hopefully.
What's your score?
1-0 Houston Dash.
Thank you, sir.
No
Let's
problem,
go.
mate.
What's that, Aurelio?
No problem, mate.
Oh, thank you, sir. Gene Curl, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. Just because I don't think the Dash is gonna win again. Wait, did you say Dash and FCKC?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm missing a game. Sorry. The Dash playoffs on Saturday, so I'm already thinking Dash and Spirit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't think the Dash are gonna beat them again. I think A-Rod and Holiday are gonna be too strong up there. I'm gonna go 2-1 Kansas City.
Jen Hayes, the one that didn't pick her team. What do you got?
Great. I'm never gonna live that down.
Nope.
Yeah, I think Kansas City's gonna take this one. I think going back to the game between them just a week ago, both teams had players coming in, a lot of players coming in, but Kansas City had an advantage because most of those players have been playing together for 3 seasons, while Houston was still a relatively new team. So I think with another game under their belt, I think Kansas City's just going to be too good. I'm going 3-1 Kansas City.
Jackie, what type of score you got?
Well, I don't think anyone's going to score. It's going to be 0-0, and it's going to be a very physical match. So no one wins this one.
Neil, what do you got? Neil, what do you got?
Well, I'm actually agreeing with my Seattle Rain sister here. I think it will be. I think it will be a draw, but not 0-0 though. I think it will probably be. Honestly, I'm thinking like 2-2. I think Houston's going to come out strong. I think they're going to, have a big crowd, and they'll come out and they'll, start off strong and very well, and then after halftime, I think FCKC will adjust, and of course, A-Rod and Holiday will do their magic tricks and get out there with a point.
I just can't deal with this being a draw. I want to see someone lose, and I want to see someone win. So I'm going to go with FC Kansas City. I just feel like, to me, the Dash really haven't looked as good as I wanted them to this year, and now with A-Rod and Holiday and Hale, they've all looked good immediately coming back. So I feel like they'll actually score 2, and the Dash will score 1 point. Sorry, Aurelio, but it will be a FC Kansas City victory here. Now we're going to talk Breakers and Rain. I think this is going to be everyone picking the same team. Let's start with you first, Jackie. Who do you got, and what score?
Well, I think Boston's going to put up a pretty good fight, considering how bad they played this week, but 2-0 Rain.
Jen Hayes?
A crappy Boston defense versus a Rain team finding its stride despite the bizarre result against Washington. I'm going to go 5-0 Seattle.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, my outlandish predictions have happened. Remember who predicted a certain player getting a hat trick in the World Cup final?
It was just so funny because I just haven't heard anyone say. You said that 5-0. I'm like, watch it happens too. They're gonna beat them so badly. J. Carl, what prediction do you have for this game? I won't laugh if it's something like 5 or 6-0.
Nah, it won't be 5-0, just because I have a little bit of faith in Alyssa Nair. So I'm gonna go. Let's go 3-0.
Okay. Brulio, scoreboard. What you got?
I think it's rape time. It'll be like 4-0 Seattle Rape.
And Neil, what do you have?
Well, I was actually going to pick 5-0, but since Jen Hayes did, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna say 3-0, but it will be a hat trick dagger Katrine by.
So there's just no faith in Boston right now, it seems like. You know what, people? This is really leaning me towards the score I had. I wasn't choosing Boston either. I see Seattle win this game by, it's going to be 2-0. The Rain are starting to roll, and the Breakers are starting to break down. So it's going to be a nice one. We'll get to see Kaya Simon do a little bit here or there, but it won't be enough because Boston's back line is just going to probably get torched in this one. And I doubt we're going to have any Boston Breaker fans liking this show anytime soon. All right, guys, let's move on to the game that Jen Carl wanted to talk about, the Spirit v Dash. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I like to see these two styles clash. Who do you got, Jen Carl?
I think the fact that Houston is going to play FCKC right before they come to us is going to impact them a little bit. But still, you can never count out the Houston Dash for sure. But the one thing I will say about these two teams is that Washington has played more consistently than Houston, even since the return of national team players. We seem to click a little bit better, and that might be because we only had realistically 2 U.S. women's national team players. So, and Franny and Crystal Dunn have been playing because Nigeria was not in the World Cup as long. But I think that this one's going to go to Washington just because of consistency. So I'm going to go 2-1 Spirit.
Really, who you got? Scoreboard.
I think it's going to be a tough game for both teams. Maybe a draw, probably 1-1. But I hope the Dash can win.
Neil, who you got?
I mean, the Spirit are pretty scary. You know, they haven't really stumbled that much. I mean, they played Chicago, and I mean, Chicago's like the best team I think in the league, and they almost won that one. So I'm gonna go Spirit wins 2-0.
Jackie, give me a score. Give me a score.
Hey Jen, is this game at the Plex?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'm definitely taking Washington to win 2-1.
Yep.
Unbeaten at home.
And Jen, do you want to add something to that? Jen Hayes, by the way. Jen Hayes.
Yeah, I think with the speed Washington's got up front and Houston's slow center backs, I don't know how much McLeod is going to be able to bail them out. I'm going 3-1 Spirit. Crystal Dunn gets a hat trick. Lloyd scores the only Dash goal.
You and these hat tricks kill me because you call them and they happen. So I know Crystal Dunn's getting a hat trick this week. Thank you, Psychic Jen. Well, since I know it's at the Plex, that changed my score. It will be 2-1, and it was going to be for the Spirit. I just feel like they're going to be dependent on McLeod a lot. She's going to make a lot of good saves, but there's going to be that little bit of magic by Dunn. And maybe Nairn could score a goal, actually, and then really just set her season back rolling in the right direction. So let's hope for that one. Well, Sky Blue versus the Western New York Flash. This should be our game of the week, but it won't because we have many others. We will go with you first, Jackie. What is your score?
My score is going to be 1-0 to Sky Blue because I really want to see them, continue to win. So, Sky Blue.
Right, because I was going to mute your mic. You said anything else. Jen Hayes, what's your score?
I'm going to go 2-0 Flash.
Wait, what?
And don't you dare mute my mic.
I was about to. No, tell me why. 2-0 Flash.
If the Flash win on Wednesday, I'm going 2-0 Flash. If they lose on Wednesday, I'm going 2-1 Sky Blue.
That's better. Jen Curl, now, your turn. Give me a scoreboard.
Oh man, this is a tough one.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
I'm gonna go. Well, I don't know.
Wait a moment. I don't like that.
Yeah, I know. This is frustrating for me today. My brain can't comprehend Heyman and KO on the same field opposite each other. So we're gonna go. I'm actually gonna play Switzerland today, and I'm gonna take the 1-1 draw.
I guess you're still all right. Julio?
I don't know why, but I'm expecting to be an interesting game with a lot of goals. So let's say 3-2 Sky Blue.
Well done. Well done. I've trained him well. Neil?
Well, I mean, see, the game's at Sky Blue, so we know it will be raining.
Yeah.
The field conditions won't be that great. Flash, I guess sort of what Jen Hayes was saying. I think it will depend on how they play Wednesday, but it won't depend that much because I think Sky Blue will win either way. 2-0.
I knew I liked you. Good job. It's my turn now, as always. As we know, Sky Blue will win this game, but it's just a matter of how much. Since we're rolling, I guess I'll be nice and just say 2-0. There's going to be a chance where Sam Mewis almost gets a goal, but she won't because Cameron will make one of the best saves of the season. We're going to get another KO goal and probably another – no, we will get another Sam Kerr goal. No, better yet, let's erase that Sam Kerr goal. Let's get a grub cut header in the box from Katie Friels. And we're going to win the game like that. And we're all going to be happy, and we're going to keep going up the table, as I always say. And Chicago Red Stars versus FC Kansas City. This should be a real good game. I'm waiting for this one for sure. Let's start with you, Neil. What's your score?
Well, as I've said throughout the show, I think Chicago's pretty much the best team in the league. Not by much, but I think they are the best. I'm going to say Chicago takes this one, 2-1.
Sounds good to me. Julio?
I hope Chicago can stop Kansas City, so any win would be nice. Hopefully 2-0 Chicago.
Jen Carl.
I'm going 1-0 Kansas City.
Jen Hayes.
Well, since somebody just took my prediction, I'm going 2-0 Kansas City.
Okay. So she sounds, pretty angry about that. And Jackie.
Yeah, I'm also going 1-0 to KC. I really hope Holiday and Heyo and A-Rod can really take it to Chicago. So 1-0 for KC.
You know what? That was all. I almost flipped my score for this one too, since they really put you into a flex game. But I think this is going to be the game of the week by far. This is going to be our game of the week for sure. I want to see which midfield really wins this game. I said our national teams. No, I'm not an FC Kansas City fan secretly. No. I just like their team a lot. Just like watching them play. I think their national teamers have just been making an impact, and I want to see how well they do against CRS, who might not have national teamers in that midfield, but they're really good players. You need to get to know some of their names. I've been impressed with Vanessa DiBernardo, so I'm going to be nice and take the sissy way out and say 1-1. All right, guys. Well, enough of that. Let's talk about that whole Carly Lloyd article, shall we? Who wants to dive into that real quick? Oh, no one wants to. Everyone start turning their heads. I see Jen Hayes is ready. Jackie's about to walk away and start walking her dog again. Okay. All right. It's cool. We will start with you. I guess you can lead this discussion, Jen Hayes. What do you want to say about this Carly article so you can get us started?
Actually, I want to go last on this.
Okay, that's fine. Who wants to go off on this first? We'll start with Jackie so she can't go walk her dog.
Well, this article was very interesting. I don't know. It was hard because I can agree with different sides of the argument. I don't know. It was. I mean, I can always respect someone who voices their opinion in a situation where they're not happy. But this happened so long ago, so I'm just wondering why the timing and why now. That's really my biggest question. I don't know. I think sometimes you just gotta say what you gotta say, and she certainly did that. And I don't have really much else to say about it. So yeah.
Wolf, indeed. Jen Curl.
Carly Lloyd's known for, being opinionated and making that opinion known. So, I can't say I'm shocked by this. I can't say that it's like out of her personality realm, I guess. And it is her return to Rochester. So knowing that she's going back, she's facing lines, she's facing that entire front office staff. She probably needed to get it off her chest to play a decent game. I don't think she has really any animosity toward the players there, toward the fans there. I think most of her animosity is with the front office staff and with the coaching staff. So on that note, I think what she said was probably correct. She wasn't wrong in anything that she said. Because you see it in other leagues. They do at least take the NFL, for example, or even other leagues in soccer. They do at least get a heads up when they're being traded. So she wasn't wrong. Maybe she could have gone about it a different way, but then it wouldn't be Carly Lloyd.
I think that's the thing I had, where it was like it wasn't wrong, but it was just how it came out really looked really bad.
It really did, but like I said, I mean that's Carly Lloyd. Carly Lloyd goes up, punches somebody in the face, and then checks to make sure she didn't break a nail. So that's Carly. And love her or hate her, that's something that comes with her. So, I think the article just said what it said, and that's kind of it. A lot of people were really angry about it. We heard a lot of the Flash fans that, again, were cheering for the Carly Lloyd goal. That actually upsets me, I think, a little bit more than what Carly said. So that's where I stand there.
And we could ask Neil about this. Neil, would you like it if a player was traded and then your home fans were cheering after they scored on your team?
No, I wouldn't. Definitely not. And I don't really have much to say on the topic of what Carly said and everything. But I guess it kind of reminds me of when LaRue and Frisbee kind of got traded to the Flash like right before the season started, and LaRue was like cheering for whoever, I can't remember who Seattle played. Like,
I think it was Chicago or something. I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and she was like cheering for Chicago, So I don't know. It is what it is, I guess.
That all rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. I just don't really care for that too much either, to be honest with you. It just doesn't feel right, to be honest with you. Really, your thoughts on it?
Well, I kind of agree with what the Flash head coach, I think, said. It's just professional sport. It always happens. But I'm glad Carly Lloyd is with us now. She's a great player. It was a bad decision by the Flash, and now they got a little bit taste of Lloyd.
And now it's time for Jen Hayes to rant. Jen Hayes, let loose. I'm ready.
Well, when the trade first happened, obviously I was crushed. It's hard to lose a player of the caliber of Carly Lloyd. Doesn't matter what team it is. If they trade away a good player. Yes, we got a lot back, but it still hurt. The fact that she didn't say anything for, 2-3 months until after it happened should have been an early warning sign that she was not happy about it. So when the article came out, her ripping on the Flash, I was not surprised. And in fact, after the Flash got blown out by Seattle, she had some really rather unsavory tweets. Something about laughing as karma punches you in the face. So there was another sign she wasn't happy. But I don't know. I think Aaron Lyons maybe should have given her a heads up. It would have been a nice little touch, but from his point of view, he didn't have to. I mean, there wasn't anything that says, oh, I have to give you a call saying, oh, I'm thinking about trading you, because most teams aren't going to do that. They're not going to call somebody that they're thinking about moving and say, hey, we're thinking about this. What do you think? Because obviously the player's going to have an opinion. Maybe they'll say, don't do it. I want to stay, blah, 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 blah. So I can see why Aaron Lyons didn't say a word. And it's, I think she overreacted. I think she seriously overreacted. You know, I mean, this is a hard one for me because it hits so close to my team.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I mean, the only reason why it came out now is because the Dash went to New York. So that's the only reason why Veronica was interviewing her, because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I hope she got her goal. The Dash got a win. She got to basically say, give a big old giant middle finger to Aaron Lyons with her celebration. So, you know, hopefully she can move on, get over it. I don't think she will, because that's not Carly Lloyd, but she can move on. And the thing for me is that in 5 years, when Lloyd is past her prime at the end of her career, the players that the Flash have now, these young rookies, are going to be hitting their prime. So while this move hurts short term, long term, I think it will ultimately be better for the Flash if the league is still around in 5 years. Got to throw that disclaimer in. So this is probably more of a long term thing. So, you know, I hope that this is the end of it, and both parties can move on, and we don't hear any more about her being pissed or he said, she said, or anything like that.
Well, that's a good way to wrap that up. And now, thank goodness that is over, because that took over a whole weekend for the most part. It was either you were listening to that or you were still complaining about some Lady A controversy that isn't really a controversy. I won't rant. I'll let it go. I can let it go. Now let's get into a fun part of the show where we actually get to know one of our panelists. Panelist of this week is Jen Carl. As you know, Jen Carl is very happy today, so we're about to make her even happier. Who wants to start first with the badgering of Jen Carl? We will start with Jackie.
Okay, yeah. If you could go anywhere in the world on vacation, where would you go and why?
Oh my God, that was my question. Oh my God.
Why does everyone want to know about my vacation spots?
No, because we're friends now. I'm just kidding.
Can't believe she stole my question.
Oh man, it's actually somewhere I've been already. So I went to Hawaii twice, but both times it was with my sister, either right before she got deployed or in the middle of a deployment to Afghanistan. So I want to go back to Hawaii when she's not being deployed, so that like I don't associate Hawaii with her going to Afghanistan anymore.
Cool.
Jen Hayes, what question do you have for Jen Carl?
Yeah, what's your spirit animal?
Turtle.
Why the turtle?
Because in like old folklore and stuff, turtles were like symbolic of guardians. They were always the protectors, and they always like led people places when they were lost, and just kind of took care of people and acted as guardian animals. So kind of how I fall in.
Rulio, you have a question for Jen Carl, don't you?
Yeah, you said you were a Bundesliga fan. Now I want to ask you why did you choose Bayern Munich?
My family's German. Like my entire lineage, all the way back, is German. So for us, it kind of fit in. And currently, a couple of my favorite players play on Bayern Munich. Manuel Neuer, the keeper, he's one of my favorites. Thomas Müller, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, very good.
So I mean, just the lineup they have. Jerome Boateng is another one that I really enjoy watching play. So just the combination, I think, of my family lineage and then all of these fantastic players on the roster leads me toward Bayern Munich.
Well, you need to become a Marco Royce fan, but that's a discussion for
I was
another
about to
time.
say that.
Yep, she
He
does.
should have gone with Dortmund.
Yep, we
Always
should.
better than everyone else.
We'll train her. We'll get her. We'll get her right.
I really, really like Mesut Ozil, so it like breaks my heart that he plays for Arsenal, but that's okay.
No, he's on Arsenal, so we won't talk about that today. Neil, your question, right?
My question will probably be a pretty easy one, I guess, or maybe a pretty hard one. I'm not really sure. But of the Washington Spirit games you've been to, which one is your all-time favorite and why?
Oh, that is a tough one. It might actually be this past one. It might be the one against Chicago, just because watching. I was up by the goal when that whole Ortega Nairn Dunn connection thing happened. So I think the fact that I was like right there. Plus, I got a cool jersey handed to me by Kelsey Weiss and Tiffany Weimer at this game, so I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, no, this past one was a lot of fun to watch. It was really high energy. It was fantastic for me, even though I don't necessarily think either team played their best, but it was still a great game to watch. So I think I'm actually going to go with this past game.
Cool.
I have a question for you, since you always talk about my love for England. If there was any other national team that you would love, who would you love and why?
I think I'm going to have to go with... I'm really torn on this one, and I'm torn between France and Australia. Australia, just because they were really surprising to me in this World Cup. I don't think I saw them maybe playing as well as they did, so I'm interested to see their development. And for France, I just think they're brilliant. I think tactically they're beautiful players on the ball. Le Sommer is just phenomenal. She can shoot the ball from almost anywhere and get like the most beautiful goal on the planet. It's ridiculous. I don't know how she does it. So I'm torn between those two, between Australia and France.
I'd say go with France. I like France, actually. I really like them.
France it is.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everyone, for the questions for Jen Curl. If you're just a random person watching the show, then you can ask Jen Curl some questions, too, sometime. And she might answer them, she might not. Depends on how she feels that day. Let's go through the rants, and then we'll wrap up this show. We're going to start with Jen Hayes first, because Jen Hayes is the reason why I started the rant section.
Oh, great. I'm never going to live that down, am I?
No.
Okay, my rant is for the nosy busybodies who exist online who are bitching. Who are bitching when U.S. Soccer Over says a player is injured as minor injury and won't give anything. Oh, we need to know every little detail. No, you don't. You need to know exactly what you were told, so shut up.
Okay.
That's my rant.
She wasn't that angry today. I liked it. Neil, rants?
It's... I don't think it's really a rant, but it's something that has been a rant in the past, I guess, with like Seattle's turnout and crowd. Usually it's on the lower end, but it seems like they're getting more and more people. So I want that to continue happening. I don't want them to drop back down to the 3,000s or 4,000s. They need to stay at around 6 and keep going up. So I'm keeping an eye on you, Seattle. Don't let me down.
Oh, he's watching you. Aurelio, rants?
The fact that my vacations are about to end, just one more week, the hell is back.
Welcome back to school, Aurelio. Jen Curl?
Unfortunately.
Jen Curl, what are you ranting about today?
Let's not talk about school. I just had a calculus final yesterday. I have a really bad case of the Mondays today. Like, everything is going wrong today. I don't know what's up. But the worst thing for me right now is the fact that they kept pronouncing Angerer last night, and it was making me Angerer. So That's my rant.
Anger, hunger, all the same in some countries.
Not when you're German.
Jackie, your thoughts?
Yeah, my rant for today is about Shannon Box. You guys may know, some of our viewers, she's actually retiring from football, so just a shout out, you know, she's given so much to this game and this sport, and every team she's played on, she's been a leader and a true professional, and I'm excited to see what she does next, whether it's with football or not, so thank you, Boxy.
Oh, that's like a friendly rant. That was nice. What am I going to go off on about today? Let's see. Okay, for my boss for making me work in the heat. No, I've already went off on him a few times. Let's see. I could go off about the whole Lady A thing, because that kind of pissed me off. No, I think enough people went off about that. Or maybe just the whole Carly Lloyd thing, how it seems like fans were wearing the jersey of someone that put your team farther in the cellar. No, I won't go off about that. So I just touched on a few rants right there. But all I'm going to say is you fans just need to you just think before you act a little bit more, because sometimes you do stuff and the rest of us laugh because it is stupid. And even if you don't think it is, it is. That's all for me today. All right, guys. Looks like that was another episode we survived. No, I'm going to go off about that Lady A thing. You know, okay. Hold me back, Leo. Hold me back, Neil. Hold me back. All right. This is another episode of Off the Boat. Make sure you follow for that chance to win that ball or follow the signatures from, not Flash, from Spirit people. So that means you really want it. And also make sure you, I guess, just tell us why you deserve those tickets. And if you win them, then you'll be in Chicago hanging with us for an evening. You know, maybe you'll take me on a long walk on the beach or something, and we'll have a good time. Anyone else have anything else to say? No? No? Everyone's just laughing at me now. All right, we're going to wrap this show up. Let's see if it ends on a normal note. I'm going to press the stop broadcast, and it should end. So everyone wave as usual. Fake that wave. Fake that wave, people, or else I'll mute you again. Bye-bye.